Good evening and thanks for joining us on the evening news from ABS. My name is Ifanaya Amafli and we'll start with our stories trending for today. Labour rejects 22,500 naira minimum wage proposed by governors. Insists on 66,500. Oko Women block Equilobia, Oko Road over continuous sand excavations in the community. Power generation drops as idle power plants rise to 15. And on the international scene, Christian woman held for blasphemy in Pakistan for 9 years acquitted. And we'll start with the news and details. The Anambra State chapter of the Organized Labour yesterday joined others to observe the National Day of Mobilization, sensitization and mourning the plights of Nigerian workers and issues surrounding the new national minimum wage. The exercise, which took place at Aroma Junction in Oka, was well attended by workers and top labor officials. And we'll join our correspondent, Ogochukwu Okeke, who has the rest of the detail.
Addressing the gathering, the National President of Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, Comrade Chris Ani, who explained that the essence of the crusade was to end anti-people policy of the government and impunity of governors, and as well grant them their right of new national minimum wage of 30,000 naira, which equals 1,000 naira per day. Comrade Ani, who lamented on the ill treatment of workers in the country, stated that workers are great and most stakeholders of the country, stressing that labor issues are human rights issues that needs immediate attention. He noted that top government officials in Nigeria receive the highest income in the world, while laborers receive lowest salaries.
And that's why, after due consideration, we have taken, among other decisions, to come round the state capitals. This program is going on simultaneously in all the state capitals. And the essence is to sensitize you and then tell you that this is not ordinary strike.
The chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, Anambra State Council, Comrade Jerry Nnobia, urged the workers to stick to what they have agreed on during the rally, as it is their welfare that is at stake, stating that the organized labour had given an ultimatum of 1 month interval to the government to positively react on the issue. Comrade Nnobia said that the union will not stop until the needful is done, advising the workers to disseminate the information in their various offices for maximum compliance.
Why we stand aside and look? Some said it's just the part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Want to have to say these songs of freedom, these songs of freedom, another songs of freedom. What does mean?
Chairperson, Nigeria Union of Teachers Women Committee, Anambra State, Mrs. Francisco Koye urged government at all levels to consider the plight of the workers.
The government should consider workers and do them that favor. 30,000 naira is not too much for a worker to go home with. The least worker, I'm saying this one, it's not all the workers. And let them graduate it. And let no governor ever say that he will not pay 30,000 minimum wage. Because this is what happened in the previous one. Some of the governors desist themselves from paying it. They said that they don't have money. Money is in Nigeria. Money is in all states. They're supposed to pay.
In Oka, Ogochukwu Okeke reporting for ABS News.
Meanwhile, the Organized Labour today rejected the 22,500 naira proposal by the Nigerian Governors Forum as the new minimum wage. Briefing journalists at the Labour House Abuja, President of Nigerian Labour Congress Ayuba Waba said the new twist of things by the government, Labour has gone back to its previous demands of 66,500 naira. Comrade Waba said that the 30,000 naira, which was the agreement at the end of the tripartite negotiation committee meeting, was a product of compromise. He explained that 21 states responded through proper memoranda at the initial stage of the negotiation and even the quoted figure. Over 200 women in Oko community in Orumba North Council area have staged a protest threatening to pack out of the community if government does not arrest excavators from their community. The women were seen lying along the road shouting on top of their voices, and will join our correspondent Ngozi Obileri, who covered the protest and now reports.
The women were carrying placards with inscriptions, "Stop excavating sand from our land. Our children have no place to live in." They excavate up to 400 trips a day. A plot of land in Oko is 10 million naira because of scarcity of land, among others. Speaking, the President General of the community, Mr. Cyprian Wammoike, said they can no longer fold their arms and watch individuals chase them out of their land. As he feels with the rate with which the gully erosion is widening, they will be forced out of their community in no distant time. He said that new map has waded into the matter by opting to control the site, but on condition that sand excavation must stop, which has not been possible because of the continuous excavation.
Almost 100 trees of sand leave the place. Cause a lot of landslide, excavation everywhere. Suffering. The window should be closed. The window should be closed for now.
The leader of the women, Mrs. Maureen Izebunam, noted that they decided to pack out of the community since their houses are caving in, no thanks to the gully.
Thank you.
The leader of the youth of the community, Comrade Emmanuel Izebunam, went down memory lane on the steps they have taken to stop the act, which has yielded no result, adding that they are now out to redeem their community. Another stakeholder in the community, Mr. Ernest Nwosu, said that the excavators are sabotaging government's efforts to check the gully menace. According to him, Governor Willie Obiano has paid the counterpart fund of 1 billion naira that made it possible for new map to come in, adding that over 30 houses have caved in due to the erosion. Meanwhile, the Transition Committee chairman for Orumba North Council area, Mrs. Ifi Obinabo, who ran into the protest, advised them to be calm and allow her wade into the matter and bring it to a favorable conclusion, as according to her, Governor Obiano's administration is one with a human face and would not allow things to get out of hand. The protest crippled human and vehicular movements for over 3 hours along Ekulobia, Oko, Amokbala Road. From Oko, in Orumba North Council area, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
A total of 60 new medical doctors from Anambra University Teaching Hospital, Nnewi campus, have been inducted into the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. And we have the rest of that report.
The 44th induction ceremony of the medical graduates of Nnewi campus, witnessed by parents and guardians of the graduating students, as well as the senior colleagues of the medical school, commenced with a procession by the lecturers, led by the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Joseph Ahaneku, who also chaired the event. In his speech, Professor Ahaneku expressed joy with the graduates, whom he described as the pride of the university, having been found worthy in character and in learning, them to go into the professional practice imbued with the core values of discipline, self-reliance, and excellence.
Grateful to the teachers, to our resource persons, to the facility providers in teaching hospital for transferring these hard skills to these very great men and ladies of our 21st century to deliver healthcare for the sustenance of our health and humanity.
Earlier in a welcome address, the Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Nnewi campus, Professor Gerard Udigwe, congratulated the medical graduates and charged them to move into the next stage of their life by getting their priorities right.
Graduates, I congratulate you for this landmark event in your life. As you move into the next stage of your life, I leave you with this simple phrase: get your priorities right.
In their separate remarks, the Provost, College of Health Science, Professor Alexander Nwofo, and the Chief Medical Director, Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, Nnewi Campus, Professor Anthony Igwegbe, described the event as a celebration of success and urged the graduates not to cut corners, but to improve themselves with engaging themselves in advancements in the health sector. Delivering a lecture on the challenges in the health sector, Dr. Nathan Ojukwu noted that lack of modern equipment, absence of opportunities for developing poor infrastructure, and irregular power supply are the major challenges facing the medical profession. Other dignitaries who spoke at the event include the chairman, NMA, Anambra State Chapter, Dr. Emmanuel Muonago, the vice chairman, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Professor Luke Anike, who represented the graduates' parents, the president, Unizik Alumni Association, Dr. Evaristus Afodigwe, and the class governor of the 2018 class of medical graduates of Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Donatus Ugu, who presented their validatory speech. Emergence of Dr. Collins Olisemeka Nweke as the overall best graduating students, offer of employment by the university to 20 best graduating students, oath-taking, renditions by the graduates, and herald choir by Nnamdi Azikiwe University Oka formed the highlights of the swearing-in ceremony.
Power generation in the country has plunged to 2,390.20 megawatts as the number of idle power plants rose from 7 to 15. According to the latest data from the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, total electricity generation has been hovering below 4,000 megawatts in recent months and stood at 3,741 megawatts as at 6 a.m. last Sunday. The nation generates most of its electricity from gas-fired power plants, while outputs from hydropower plants makes up about 30% of the total. But the 3 hydropower plants accounted for more than 50% of the electricity generated as at 6 a.m. on Monday, with Kainji, Jeba and Shiroro producing 366 megawatts, 354 megawatts and 494 megawatts respectively. Meanwhile, Egbim, the biggest power station in the country, saw its output drop to 176 megawatts on Monday from 306 megawatts on Saturday. Some of the idle plants are Sapele, Afam 4 and 5, Geruge, Omotosho, Odupani NIPP, AES, ASCO, and Rivers IPP. As at Monday, electricity generation companies in the countries were saying that their plants were being forced to operate below their optimal capacity levels. And on a good note, members of staff of the News and Current Affairs Department of the Anambra State Broadcasting Services, ABS, has exemplified collective homage as they hosted the director of the department, Mr. Gabe Okpalaeze, to a surprise birthday party. The surprise birthday party was also attended by members of staff from affiliate units and departments of the organization to celebrate the man they described as a true leader and an esteemed professional. And Daniel Ezeigwe has more on that story.
From the serious business of the day, which was Monday post-mortem, to the softer lane of life, which is whining and dining, defying the newsmen do not make news logic, to make news themselves. It was a sight to behold, watching the news staff, Abuchi Nwozo, Emeka Modelim, and Paul Ezeoke lead others in a birthday song to their boss in their bass voice, while Ekwi Ajide, Ngozi Obileri, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, Queen Aniboogu, Njide Okoye, and others joined from the background. In the midst of the celebration, the German wall of divide, which often characterizes officialdom and protocol, broke down, giving way for a sweet blend of the big and the small, the leader and the led, as well as the low and the mighty. Offering a toast on the occasion, the Deputy Director of the News and Current Affairs Department of the ABS, Mr. Ebuna Amuta, said Mr. Okpalaeze inspires affection, especially among the staff of the department, because of his unique personality and inclusive leadership skill set.
Give Okpalaeze the best on his birthday. He has, over the years, demonstrated a good leadership quality He has led us, and that is why we have always shown solidarity to him as demonstrated today.
The head of the ABS film editing unit, Mr. Emeka Okoye, who said he had known the celebrant for more than 11 years, praised his inexhaustible leadership characters, noting that Mr. Obaleze occupies a rare space in the hearts of those who have come in contact with him.
He's been a very good man. He has been someone who would love to be humiliated to make sure that his staff are praised. But in ABS as a whole, I have not really seen someone who is like him.
The celebrant, Mr. Obaleze, who was overwhelmed, said the honor by the department would advance both his personal and professional zeal and thank God for his grace upon his life so far. On why his staff appeared to be so much at home with him, the celebrant revealed that he always bends backwards to carry them along in a symbiotic relationship.
The idea is that you try to always bend backwards and carry the people along. Maybe that is what is happening. I try to come down to their level. I try to go up and show the way, then go back and carry them. Because if you just point the way and stay there, they may not try to come up. But you come down to the level and you carry people along.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
The staff also presented the celebrant with a birthday gift, while prayers and cheers were offered in commemoration of the occasion. In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, reporting for ABS News.
Congratulations, Dave Okbaleze. And then we'll move over to the foreign scene. Pakistan's Supreme Court has acquitted a Christian woman convicted for blasphemy, prompting sporadic protests by far-right groups that have been demanding her execution for years. Aisha Bibi was cleared of all blasphemy charges, and authorities were ordered to release her after 9 years on the death row. Chief Justice Saqib Nisar announced in the capital, Islamabad, today. Bibi, a 53-year-old native of the central Pakistan village of Itan Wali, was accused by 2 Muslim women of having insulted Islam's Prophet Muhammad and the Quran during an argument sparked by their refusal to drink water from the same vessel as her in 2009. She was convicted and sentenced to death by a trial court in November 2010, with the Lahore High Court upholding her conviction 4 years later. Right groups and Bibi's lawyers, however, argued that there were numerous fair trials concerns in her case, one that became emblematic of such concerns in many cases under Pakistan's strict blasphemy laws. Blasphemy against Islam and its prophet is a sensitive subject in Pakistan, where the crime can carry a compulsory death sentence. Increasingly, blasphemy accusations have resulted in mob lynchings and extrajudicial murders. At least 74 people have been killed in violence related to blasphemy allegations since 1999. According to an Al Jazeera tally, those killed include a provincial governor who stood up for Bibi when she was first accused in 2009. This morning, judges said they agreed that Bibi had not been tried fairly, noting glaring and stark contradictions in the prosecution's evidence, and ordered her immediate release. And moving over to the sports scene, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has said expanding the 2022 World Cup to 48 teams is feasible as hosts. Qatar pledged to come into a decision in the early parts of next year. Speaking today at the Asian Football Confederation Annual Congress, Infantino said the move is possible from 32 teams to 48, which is currently due at the 2026 tournament in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Infantino said an expanded tournament will see Asia's allocation rise from 4.5 places to 8.5, rising cheers from the delegates assembled at the luxury hotel in the Malaysian capital. Accommodating another 16 teams will vastly complicate Qatar's task in preparing for the World Cup, which was awarded to the tiny desert state in 2010. Qatar has been involved in a standoff with neighbors Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates and Egypt, who have cut off diplomatic relations and imposed a blockade on the resource-rich country, accusing it of endorsing terror activities. He added that preparations remain on track despite the blockade and the budget of $200 billion for the entire infrastructure, including metro and expressway, has not been affected. And don't forget that you can follow our news and programs on ABS from any part of the world simply by logging on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com, or like us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, or follow us on our Twitter and Instagram handle at ABS Radio TV. And before we end the news, we'll make the stories trending for tonight. Organized labor has rejected 22,500 naira minimum wage proposal by governors, insist on 66,500. Oko women have blocked Ekolobia Oko Road over continuous sand excavation in the community. Power generation drops as idle power plants rise to 15. And on the foreign scene, Christian woman held for blasphemy in Pakistan for 9 years has been acquitted. And that's a wrap on the evening news. Many thanks for being with us. My name is Ifunaya Mafili. Do have a pleasant evening.